and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Watch the Throne. I am your host, King Ricky Rose of the Kings of the Rings podcast, where on this show we go in more depth about a topic that's pretty popular in wrestling of my choosing, but I don't always get to speak about in depth or in length during my own podcast, Kings of the Rings podcast. You can find that podcast coming out each and every Friday on Wrestle Addict Radio. Subscribe to Wrestle Addict Radio on iTunes and Google Play. So what I want to talk about this week is is the most over person in all of wrestling, the most popular person, male or female, in wrestling right now, and that is Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is on a meteoric rise like we haven't seen in years. Seriously, we have not seen anything like this in years. This is different than the Daniel Bryan. This is different than a Kenny Omega. This is a very nostalgic like rise where she's having these iconic moments, and they just keep coming and coming and coming. To happen iconic moments like this don't happen so rapidly in someone's career. Austin didn't have that many iconic moments. The Rock didn't have that many earth-shattering iconic moments, and within the span of I don't know 3 4 months, Becky Lynch has had iconic moment after iconic moment after iconic moment. She went after Charlotte at SummerSlam after she lost the match, which ignited everything. She has a match of the year candidate at Evolution a couple of months later to win the title or to retain the title actually. Um, and then this past Monday, besides all the stuff that she's been doing on Twitter and on any sort of social media, just bashing the entire women's division and all the female superstars on both Raw and SmackDown. Not only does she do that, but she goes on to Raw. She invades Raw during the Survivor Series angle. She puts Ronda Rousey in an arm bar. Ronda doesn't tap though. Remember that. Ronda never tapped out. She then goes to the ring and she leads the invasion charge for the SmackDown women. We'll get back to what you think I'm going to be talking about because we are going to be talking about that moment. Nevertheless, she gets bloodied up because of the moment we're going to talk about, and she ends the show. She gets the loudest chants on a show that she's never on. Her theme song ends Monday Night Raw. A SmackDown Superstars theme song ends Monday Night Raw. She has a moment that is like the Stone Cold Steve Austin bloodied up moment where she became a star yet again. She fought through what we now know is a broken face, legitimately, and a concussion, and she went through all of that. And rumor has it that after she got hit by someone we will be talking about later, after she got hit, she doesn't remember the rest of the segment, which is kind of crazy because she hit all of her spots that she was supposed to hit as the clock struck 11 o'clock on the East Coast. She finished everything perfectly, which is wild and a really, really interesting way to see how the brain and long-term memory functions. But that's another story and another topic for another time. But let's get back to this. She finishes that. She goes on to SmackDown the next night, and after every two or so sentences when she's in the ring and has to relinquish her shot at actually facing Ronda Rousey, you hear Becky, Becky, Becky. Now she had her Stone Cold Steve Austin moment on Raw, but then she had her She had a Dwayne the Rock Johnson moment on SmackDown, and it's beautiful to see. It's so amazing to see this because there's not a female superstar that I can remember getting chance and getting the support like she's gotten the support. Charlotte never got that support. Sasha Banks never got that support. Bayley Shorts, hell on the main roster, has never gotten support like she has. She is the diamond in the rough of the four horsewomen. Um, Even Trish Stratus and Lita didn't get this much support, and I think it's because of Becky's turning into the total package, especially on the mic, where she is excelling on the mic more so than some of her counterparts, which is a good thing because that's what's helping her carry these feuds right now. She is legitimately the man. She's the most talked about person in wrestling, but it all came to a screeching halt when Nia Jax punched her in the face. And and I say that with caution because we don't know at this moment whether that was on purpose or not. I understand getting in the heat of the moment with things and being excited and stuff, and things happen. However, you're a professional. You are supposed to be a professional wrestler. And I know as a non professional wrestler that when I am fake fighting somebody, I know you're not supposed to punch them in the face. Okay, I don't know what is at play backstage, but I know that if I'm in a fake fighting scene, I'm not supposed to actually punch somebody square in the face. And she's a professional. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional wrestler at all. She is though. Nia Jax is a professional wrestler, and that is fishy, especially when you add into the fact that she has been pretty reckless in the ring with other people, and that's not good. That is not good at all, and something needs to be done about it. She literally hit Becky so hard that you can hear the break on someone's fan video. That's not a good. You just put the most over person in wrestling on the shelf. I don't know how this is gonna play out for Nia. It's looking pretty ugly for her right now. You feel like she has something that she's really nice. She seems pretty cool, but now you're seeing this uglier side of Nia, and it's not good. This reminds me of when JBL took matters into his own hands against the Blue Meanie on ECW One Night Stand and bloodied up the Blue Meanie. That seems very similar. It's hard for me. It is really hard for me to defend Naya and say this was an accident. It's very hard. Granted, Naya is not like most girls. She is bigger. She does pack a punch, as you all see. But I mean, even in football, you're always been told see what you hit. I feel like there's something else in play, and judging by the response that Nia got from Becky on Twitter, it seems like there's a lot more to play here, and I think reality and art are intermolding with each other, and they're coming together right now. And there's not a real difference between fantasy and reality at this moment. All I'm going to say is that shooters are going to shoot no matter what. So whenever Becky comes back, there's going to be hell to pay, especially for Nia. And I really hope Nia gets that corrected soon because it doesn't look good for her. She's been having a pretty bad year overall. And ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time that I have for this evening and for Watch the Throne. Again, my name is King Ricky Rose of the Kings of the Rings podcast. You can check out the podcast each and every Friday at WrestleAddict Radio on iTunes and Google Play, where this week we are challenged by another group of people from wrestling Twitter in a battle for podcast prediction supremacy. So go check it out when you can. And oh yeah, I'm going to WrestleMania. Ladies and gentlemen, it's King Ricky Rose, and this has been Watch the Throne.